What's tainted? What's tainted?
Ladies and
In the
gentlemen,
valley. Finally see football, I saw on the way. Train your Sundays, every single play. This rock don't dilly dally. It's what's tainted in the valley.
we have concluded our fantasy season, and boy, was it a great season. It feels like it just started, honestly. And it's like cliche, like, oh man, time flies, the whole 9 yards, but it really does. It really does feel like the season just started. I had a lot of fun. It was cool being the first year that I'm the commissioner. So I took it really seriously, making sure that everything was up to snuff and the league was at its maximum full potential, which I think it was. I think a lot of the changes that I made were impactful in a positive way. I think it kept everybody pretty much engaged. It helped, you know, I think most of that comes down to the people you're playing with, to be honest. I think we have a great league of guys that all do a great job taking fantasy very, seriously. And, you know, it's a pride thing. I know for a lot of us, it's winning. Winning is it's to get your name on that trophy means something, and the money's nice. Don't get me wrong. An extra 800 bills in your pocket never hurt anybody, and it definitely feels good to get. But we you do it for the recognition. That's why I do it. I think it's just to know that I'm the best, to compete against high level players, draft a high level team of guys that I can cheer for Sunday in, Sunday out. So it's over for now, and now comes the grind of waiting. I feel like that wait for football season it's like a year. I know it's a number of months. It's 9 months really before the season gets going. 8 months before you start taking it seriously, but it feels like a long time. I do wish the football season was a little longer. I don't know if there's a way to make that happen. Roger Goodell or the CBAs and the players union and stuff like that. It would be cool if we had a longer football season. Not really sustainable with how violent the game is, but you know, you look at basketball and stuff like that. Like that feels like it goes on forever, and then the season is done, and you blink your eye, and they're in summer league, and then they have preseason and stuff out in Vegas or wherever they're doing it now. Baseball, same thing. Friggin' long ass season that feels like it never ends. You have really March until October. So baseball season is almost most of the year. Football season we really only get from September to January and February if you're lucky, if you have a good rooting interest. But fantasy, regular season, we only get a couple months of that. So being able to sit here and do this pod for you guys every, chance that I can get, it's been special. It's been meaningful. I've really enjoyed it. I feel like it's only going to make it better. Like this is just the start. My ideas are going crazy in my head, how we can make this better and stuff like that. So, you know, that's kind of just where I'm at. Little State of the Union address. A lot of changes that I would like to see implemented going into next year. We'll talk about it. It's a group decision. I'm a fair leader, and it is a democracy to a certain extent. So I do want to get the input of everybody else and vote on things and do what the majority wants. We'll talk about it a little more with my guest, but yeah. So didn't talk about who won the league yet. It wasn't me. Spoiler alert. Unfortunately, boys got hurt. Happens. Rough, but we do what we can do. You can only do so much, and I did what I can do, and happy with how far the team got me. It took me, in deep into the playoffs. I definitely needed some help and was a little bit of a points against merchant at times. Not going to apologize for it. A lot of people are during the season. I wasn't. I was the highest points for, number one seed. Really the best team in the league all year until, really the last week. I caught some tough injury luck that, I caught the first round bye, caught some more injury luck. bad luck, bad injury luck. So, it happens. But I couldn't be happier to announce that Sean Prince has won the league, and he deserves every bit of it. He's a grinder, season in, season out. He's always there. Val Tainter put up a fantastic season, really a top three team from like week three on. And yeah, I'm going to bring him on here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to congratulate him as a group. We're going to go from there. So let me pull him in really quick.
All right.
Without further ado, our champion, Sean Prince, Val Tainter, in the building. Congratulations, first off. Did you have to
Thank
join on your phone?
Yeah, there's a little issue with my laptop. It's all good.
It happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to congratulate you. The winner of the 2025 season of What's Tainting the Valley, or Tainters of the Valley. This is your first time appearing on What's Tainting in the Valley. So, just a couple thoughts. What are your feelings when you realized that it was locked up? You were going to win. It was pretty clear, probably by the 4:15 games on
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah, it was. I was still really worried though. Like I've seen my Bears fuck up way too many times that Caleb Williams puts up 2 points and the Bears suddenly have a -2 to San Francisco. But I guess that means like CMC kind of took over, so I couldn't really lose it.
Yeah, I didn't see a universe where that happened, and like I said, any hope, the smallest percentage of hope I had was gone within 18 seconds of the game when they took the first play back for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was
uh,
a rough start.
the pick six. So whatever, it happens. But this, if I'm not mistaken, is your first championship.
Yeah, it is. I've had a bunch of third places. It seems always get knocked out and then win that third place game. It happens.
Yeah, we've all been there. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's getting over that hump and being able. I think, and I talked about this with Mondo a little bit. Um, and I said it in the group chat. I talked about it. Having that first round bye in this season, especially, there was really no bad team. Especially Joe and Kyle were good. Mondo, very good. Alex, we didn't know what we were going to get. He was dead and then he wasn't. So, like, that's not somebody you wanted to see in the first round.
No, it's
So,
not.
getting that first round bye was massive. And I don't know. So if Mondo, I forget now, if Mondo beat Alex and then everything else played out the way it was supposed to, I think I was going to overtake you for the second
You
position.
you were. If Mondo beat Alex, I would have gotten the third place and skipped out on the bye, which I think I
Yeah.
would have lost in that bye round.
Yeah. So, I mean, butterfly effect, it's Mondo really screwed himself is the end of the day, or Alex really tainted everything. And that's in the spirit of the league.
Yeah,
What we
exactly. I mean,
do,
we need that.
that's what we love to see. That's what we want. So your team obviously was very good. For I would say the last 2/3 of the season, but if I remember correctly, you didn't start off too hot. Like your team was, you were okay. I think. Well, did you go 1-2? I think your first three games.
I might have gone 1-2, and then I just had a string of wins out. I remember you were trying to fleece me a little for Gibbs when I had that
Yeah.
rough start,
Yep. Yep.
and you were like, "Dude, I'll trade you anyone on my team except JSN just to give me Gibbs." And honestly, you would have probably won the league if that I had gone through with any of those trades.
Maybe, but I mean, Jameer Gibbs didn't do much in the championship game. It's not like
Actually,
he.
either playoff game he didn't do that much.
Yeah. So
But
what I would have given up, I mean, I probably would have had to give up. I mean, my team was just insane. I can't even pull it up because of how different my team was.
yeah, you
But
you you completely changed your team. I kind of just did the draft and then set it, and I got lucky with injuries.
yeah, that's something I was going to talk about too. You made like two moves the entire season. Was that just something you just didn't care? I don't remember seeing you bidding on anybody even. Like, was it just you were going to ride with your guys?
I mean, it kind of was. I mean, every year I draft where I'm done first, and I'm done way before everyone, and always seem to win out on those I fill the 9 through 15 slot real quick.
Yeah.
So I kind of have higher value in those, and I never see like who do I drop for like do I drop Cooper Cup or someone like that? And there's no like yes, that's the obvious yes, I need to drop that guy.
Yeah.
It's
So
always yeah.
I just pulled up your draft. I mean, this is pretty much your team all the way through. To who did you added like one player in the defense, right? You picked up
Yeah, I think
Bears
I just
defense
switched
for
around
two
the D.
dollars.
I got real lucky on that. That it was pretty much just like I might have switched the kicker and the D, which I don't even know if we're gonna keep next year.
I mean, I'm that's something I was talking about in the intro, like
Yeah.
changes we're gonna make and stuff, and we'll get there. I got a couple, but I think we have to keep for the spirit of what this is, kickers and defense. I mean, looking at my team, like we were just talking about, how different it was. I mean, Jaden Daniels, Pacheco, I dropped. Bryn stuck around. Garrett Wilson stuck around. JSN stuck around. Uh, I got rid of Pitts, which didn't. Who had Pitts? Was it you? No, it
No,
was
wasn't me.
Kyle. Picked him up off waivers. McMillan. I got rid of. That was a trade. Drake London, I traded. Rasheed Rice injured. Marvin Harrison, I kept. Judkins, which ended up being a really good draft pick, and then obviously got rid of Chuba and Bill. But you know, I kind of got screwed. You know, when we're talking about, I want to get into the matchup a little bit too. Um,
Yeah, I'm looking at my draft. You're right. It was just Tyreek Hill who went down. That
which is
was the
crazy because that was you paid money for him, right?
yeah. It was a 31.
Yeah, and you still sustained that without really having to add anybody. Like that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean it
But
was
testament
CMC.
to the team you
It
drafted.
was a testament to getting CMC at the discount because everyone was afraid of just losing him forever. In the I mean Mondo got screwed was it last year with him and
That was terrible.
yeah
Yeah, Brees Hall. He
Brees
just
Hall.
put all of his money on those two guys, and that was
Both
the
of them down.
worst.
Yep.
And then you come back and draft CMC, and he's like a league winner. But yeah, looking at just our matchup, like I was just on fumes, man. Like my team was injured. I lost obviously Garrett Wilson. I lost Brock Bowers. I lost Rasheed Rice. We were those guys were my dogs, and I tried to. I don't know if you noticed it. I didn't know if you were going to start the Bears defense or not, so I just dropped everybody that I didn't need, and I picked up every available like decent defense to gatekeep you from them, just in
I
case.
didn't notice that, but yeah, because the Bears did get blown out by San Francisco. So what did give up 45 points?
Yeah. So what was their point? They still had 5 points
They
because they
said
had the
points because
touchdown.
the return, but
Yeah, I mean 42 points, and I mean the one sack other than that pick six. So yeah, I mean it wouldn't have moved the needle on anything. And it's
no, it
just
would have been
you had
-2.
a good team that put together a good week, and like Chris Olave coming alive towards the end. I feel like it was towards the end of that game where he really racked up a lot of his points.
Yeah, I mean he's
Um,
kind of had some interesting finishes the last 2 weeks with the last 3 weeks with the new quarterback. He
yeah,
seems to be the favorite target there.
yep, and that's I mean that's the Chris Olave that we kind of expect. Big
Yeah, I
Ohio
mean if he
State,
doesn't get a
good
concussion,
good receiver, just concussion prone. But quarterback plays a role in that too. Where they're throwing the ball, what routes are running, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, even despite a Jameer Gibbs just stinker, still hanging 154 points. Like I knew I was screwed when I saw Reichert put up 17 because that one was late too. He had like nothing, and then all of a sudden kicked like two 50-yard field goals like immediately. I was like, damn it, man! It
the
just
kickers kill
sucked.
you. They really do.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of washed a little bit. Like Brandon Aubrey put up 16 and a half. He put up 17. So they almost zeroed. Um, the Taysom Hill move was not good. That was terrible. But I wasn't the only one who got screwed with that. I looked on Twitter and a lot of people got screwed with that.
Yeah, he had a
So,
big week 16, right?
yeah, he had the most touches he's ever had in his career against the Jets. And then comes back and gets 3 total touches against
Not a good
the
Tennessee team.
Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, whatever. Pickens not doing what I needed to. JSN, like whatever. I needed a big GSN week. That was really the hope. Like, give me a 25 to 30 point week, and
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I
he had a
can't be
hell of a
starting
season.
Michael.
He
Yeah, he
carried
had a
you a
great
lot of the
season.
season.
Yeah, I mean, wide receiver. Oh, he's wide receiver two. Who ended up being wide receiver one? Is it Puka?
You don't know.
It doesn't tell me in here, but
Oh, it
whatever.
was it actually Chase still? No, he's 5. Oh,
It's
stats.
got to be Puka, right?
Yeah, that was Puka. Yeah, by 3 points.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he
Yeah,
had a
no one
great
was just
season. He got me here. So did George Pickens, he was wide
who had a
receiver
monster
four.
year.
Yeah, going in the end of the regular season, JSN was one, George Pickens was two, and then Rashee Rice was three in the weeks that he was back. So realistically, I had the top three wide receivers in the league. I didn't need Kyron Williams and Judkins to carry the load as running backs because that was where I was making the money. And then Jaden Daniels, honestly, that kind of screwed me too. I had to make a couple quarterback decisions. Jacoby Brissett still kind of held it down. I mean,
He had a big.
his second half, he got me through, weeks 11 through 14 or 10 through 14 when I needed him to. So, whatever. That's kind of what it is. What Not to get ahead of it, who, you won this year, a way too early prediction. Who do you think's going to take it next year? Who who do you think is maybe not only due, but is motivated to do the work and draft a good team next
I don't
year?
know. I just look at who has a scary team every year. It always seems to be like Mondo, Kyle, and Joe. I don't think has Joe won it.
Joe is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I think he's gotten
Yeah,
second place two or three times.
he always seems to come away with that scary team that just falters at in the finals actually.
I feel like
So
my team was very Joe like this year. Great regular season, and then I get that first round bye, and somehow through the glory of God get to the finals, and it just two back to back really terrible weeks. That's the typical Joe season. I think like you said, you nailed it. Mondo always has a good team outside of last year. Alex usually has a good
yeah,
team. Joe has a good team. Kyle is just a perennial. It's just I don't know. Maybe drafting all the Giants because that's what he usually does. Somehow works out for him. Didn't this year, but he had a. I mean, he had a good. He was a scary team. He put up a ton of points. Was that against you? Where
I think it
did you
was
play
against
Kyle
me.
or Joe in week 16? No.
Last week was Mondo
Yeah, last week was Mondo.
that we both had like 170, and he's still mad
170
about.
points. Yeah,
I mean, he probably should have won, but
yeah. Kyle did not have a good playoffs. Joe had a great playoffs. Um, yeah, I guess Mondo. You can make the case that he should have won, but it's also it's the way the league worked with the points for was very similar to the way the standings broke out. Other than me and you, but we were only 9 points four away from each other, and then Mondo, and then Kyle, Joe, Alex. Like it was everybody's kind of where they were supposed to be based on the points you were scoring.
yeah, except
Billy is
Billy.
really the only outlier, but
Billy just got killed. What was it? The first few weeks that everyone was just putting on monster numbers against him.
yeah, I mean, almost 2,000 points against is
It's crazy.
crazy work. But I mean, also look at the league standings. You had three 9-5 teams, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8 teams. So 7 teams were really like that's just they were all kind of within one game of each other. All had the same record, and then you had Joe 7-7 and Kyle 8-6. So everybody was within a game of really getting to that playoff spot. That's
It
what
was
you
a
want to see, and that's
it
the
was a
part
close
that
season.
scares me
Yeah,
when I talk about expanding to a potential 12-team league, because I feel like you lose that tightness in the middle. Um, so I was kicking around different ideas of how I can maybe add like another wild card spot. So it's like a seventh playoff team. So it makes it a little bit more enticing for the So it's not just half the, because only 6 out of 12. That's rough for the playoffs. You want to give everybody something to play for, and I feel like adding a seventh playoff spot, however I have to figure out a way to do that, would be pretty cool.
So
Whether
like
it's
only first place gets a bye.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Only first place gets a bye, something like
That's
that.
rough.
Um, or doing even getting weird and doing like a play-in tournament where the bottom, let's call it bottom four teams, like 10 and 12, screw them. Like you lost at that point, you were a
Yeah.
bad team. But then like the last 2 weeks of the season, it'll be like the play-in. I don't know how I can do it. Even if you were to do it like retroactively, where you just take the last 2 weeks, and I don't know how it would work, but or just end the season 2 weeks early for like and lock positions from eight through from 7, 8, 9, 10. Those guys are locked, and then everybody else is playing for seeding, and they're playing in a play-in tournament. So, and then you would just take two teams from there, I guess, or whatever, and then nobody gets a bye. I
There's a
don't
lot
know.
of stuff there. Like it kind of stinks to be in that play-in tournament if you're getting hot towards the end of the year.
Yeah, yeah, because then you can, you're losing the ability to jump into from eighth to fifth, or like in Alex's case, from ninth to sixth. Like you lose that shot. But I don't know. I feel like there are creative ways to do it. I saw another league that was pretty cool. I think they called it. We would never do it, but it would be fun to do, like in theory. Um, Benjamin Button League, I think is what they call it. So you draft your team, and the first week of the season is the championship, and nobody knows that they're playing in the championship. And then as like the weeks go on, I forget how it works. Like teams get um like eliminated from playoff contention, I guess, or something like that. It's weird. I don't know. I got to look into it.
So you
It's
got to
just
win week one pretty much.
yeah, you basically have to win week one, but there's like incentives for it's like the payouts are different. So like every team is incentivized to keep playing. Like you don't know, even if you lost, you can still play and win again and get second place or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah, so going in, like looking at next season, what are your thoughts on kicker defense? You are the champion. Like, what do you think?
I like the kicker D. I think it adds like because you got to make that decision if you actually pick up one of the good kickers and one of the good Ds, if you're going to drop them or if you're going to sit them on your bench and lose a real position player to keep them. Um, I
Yeah,
mean,
I went through that. That was a decision I had to make when Denver was on their bye. Like, I didn't want to get rid of it. I knew if I dropped Denver, somebody's going to pick them up. So I had to drop. At that point, that was when I dropped Bill Krosky Merritt. Ended up working out. But if he ended up playing well the second half of the season, I would look like a dummy because I dropped a good player just for the sake of a defense. So it does add a certain element. I do like kicker defense. I think that's just maybe it's like the old school, I guess, purist in me for fantasy football. But
yeah, and and I guess it doesn't really win or lose games either. But I guess it could be like a 20-point spread between picking the right kickers and the right defenses. But most people just kind of set it and forget it though with them.
yeah, there is. I mean, there's probably a tier of like three or four like good kickers that you want to draft. Like, so it's worth it to have them. Like Brandon Aubrey, he was the number two kicker. I think Cam Little was the number one kicker. Um, what's his face from the Bengals? I think was
Yeah, I know
number
Myers
three.
had a good year up in Seattle too.
Yeah. Even like there's a few S tier kickers, but then there are also some kickers that on teams that don't really like yeah, they don't really need to kick that much. They score a lot, so they're just maybe kicking extra points, or you have like the Lions where Dan Campbell's going for it a lot of the time, so he's not getting opportunities for those 40, 50 yard field goals. So, um, Yeah, it's a consideration. What were your thoughts on the bonuses paid out weekly?
Well, I didn't get any, so I didn't really. I kept looking back at them, trying to figure out if I was going to get any, but I know it does help. It is kind of fun to get those surprise. Like, I
Yeah,
wish
you
you
won
could pin it
$50.
somewhere, like, and be like, this week it's for this ridiculous thing. I don't know if we should make them more ridiculous.
So it's funny you say that. I mean, it is pinned in our league chat. If
Oh,
you
it is.
want, uh, Tainters of the Valley. I don't know how to get to chat for the league, but yeah, there's a way to do it. I can't. It's just on PC. Everything's a little bit more wonky. But if you go on your phone, it's literally the pinned message on Tainters of the Valley, so you can see it week in week out. If I don't,
Yeah, definitely. It definitely kind of incentivized, just keep playing and like I said, maybe even have them even more ridiculous, like week
yeah,
6, like lowest scoring wide receivers, and it's just like, oh, okay,
yeah, I
maybe
think
I can shoot for that.
the tricky part of that is I want to be able to do weird stuff without compromising the competitive integrity.
So you don't
Because
want people throwing.
correct, if you have a team, if I were to do something like that, like lowest scoring kicker or lowest scoring wide receiver, late in the season, a team that's out mathematically might just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna pick up a nobody off the waivers and throw him in, and whatever, I'm gonna win myself $50 just and throw." So those ones, if I do lowest, I would have to do early in the season. But I'll get more creative, like with different bonuses and stuff like that. Maybe make it, so there's more of an opportunity for, you know, everybody to win something.
Yeah, I
With
saw
that,
that in a losers bracket. Was that you tried to get the lowest score you could with people that put at least a point.
that's interesting.
So
That's a pretty good.
you
That's
have to like
cool.
manually go in and assign the
Yeah,
winner, but the losers bracket was you try and get the lowest score. I mean, obviously you can't drop people, drop like real starters to win this, but
yeah,
to try and be like, okay, is that that tight end going to get one catch and save me, or is he going to be a zero and I don't get anything from that?
yeah. That would be a cool. That'd be a cool little taint doing something like that. There's so many different ways you can go and so many different things you can do. One other thought next year, would you be open to, well, two things actually. Would you be open to 12?
I do like the 10. I like the kind of stack team. You digging at the end of the draft is always like a terrible feeling, and having no one in free agency. That
Yeah.
extra 20, not 20, 30 players gone really just, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel when you're trying to find that replacement tight end or wide receiver. But, it makes it more competitive. It does.
It makes it more competitive and it increases the dollars, which
Yeah,
is
it does.
also not a bad thing.
No.
Um, just the way that the league is going, I feel like having 12 would be a fun progression if we got two people that would be into it, because like I said, the league's been together a while. So, I know Walter was interested in joining. We'd have to find another good person
And
too.
out a little bit here.
So, can you hear me? Hello?
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, you dipped out for a second. You good? Yeah. So we'll
Yeah, I
see. I
kind of
mean, we'll
missed
kick that around. We'll kick it
and
around.
you said two things. What was the other one? Was the other
The
one the
other, the average points.
there we go.
Yep, you were lagging. You were lagging a little bit,
Yeah,
but
it
we're
was.
good
I
now.
got
I think.
kicked out. Yeah,
Well,
so
this is not much left. The other thing that I was talking about, like the other question, I guess, what are your thoughts on the average scoring for the week? Like you have the league average, and so you're basically playing 2 games a week.
I mean, I like it, but it seems like it makes it more fair, so I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I mean, how many? My thing is, how many like different balancing things can we do? I think with a 10-man league, I don't know the whole 2 games a week thing. Like I get it from Billy's perspective because of what happened to him, but he also would have still missed the playoffs, so it's not the end of the world, I guess. But um, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think I think
generally, it
I
depends how
think
big
the
your
idea
playoffs are.
is, yeah. I mean, I think it's a cool idea in theory. I've never done it in practice, so I wouldn't know. You know, to be closed off and say I wouldn't do it, I'd be lying. I'm interested in maybe trying it. I think it's going to be one I bring to a vote because it's a big change. The same thing with the 12 man. I would want the majority to be interested in it, and as long as nobody's like super strongly against it, then we'll give it a shot. Um, yeah, I think both of those things are that's off season stuff we'll talk about. And then we'll go over all the at your trophy presentation, which is going to be cool. You'll be able to display your trophy proudly in your apartment, which I'm sure Joan will be super stoked for.
Obviously.
Yeah, that's one that goes right on the coffee table in the living room. So yeah, I mean, I think that just about covered everything. Again, in conclusion, congratulations, I'm winning
Thank you, man.
25 Tainters of the Valley. It was awesome to see you get the W again.
Great,
I
great
didn't want to
season,
lose
man.
to any. I didn't want to lose to anybody else, so I'm happy about it. I didn't even need to win. Just getting to second place to cover the overhead of buying that trophy. I'm good. That was just the fantasy gods all working out because the trophy was like $180 and I won 200, so it all worked itself out.
We get more than your money. Okay,
Yeah, so I made $20.
nice.
Yeah, actually, and I won a weekly bonus, so 70.
Yeah, so you made $70. Great season.
Made, made $70 and I had a ton of fun doing it.
I
So
usually you lose $100 and don't ever get that back, so it's great.
yeah, I'm still. I mean, I've won this league and I'm probably still way net negative, but you don't do. I explained this in the pre-show in the intro. It's not about the money. It's about the respect. And it's about the feeling of winning and knowing that you get your name on that trophy and it's there forever. So nobody can take that.
Well, it's great to win. I feel like I didn't talk any shit at all. Just I'm so superstitious about it that the second you start talking shit is the second just the RNG goes to crap and CMC suddenly tears his ACL in week 10.
Yeah, I mean that's the league. This league has gotten so superstitious with the tainting and reverse tainting and like double reverse tainting that it's just
Oh, so many good
nobody
games.
talks about anything.
Nope. It's just the second you're winning, you just be like, oh, yep, okay, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah, or just you go down like your projection drops like it's like 40-60 and you're congratulating the other person that they won. Like it's just
Yeah,
terrible.
it's 1:30 on Sunday, and you're like, yeah, good game, Mondo. You got this.
Uh, but again, I think that just about covers it. Till next year, everybody, to those listening at home, thank you for tuning in, and we will lock in next year after the draft for season 2 of What's Tainting the Valley. Good night.
All right, see you, man.
See ya.